Welcome to The Bench Has Spoken, a Survivor podcast from Bench Points Network. Each week we watch the latest episode of Survivor and provide a recap, commentary, and then predictions for the next episode. I'm Mary, this is Becca. We're longtime friends and even longer time Survivor fans. Becca, season 3.
Episode 3. Hey, no, it's good. It's good.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks.
episode 3, the most iconic rap solo in all Survivor history. Do you think that's a true fact, Mary Hauser?
Most iconic rap. Yes. I think that he gave all of Death Row Records a run for their money. Just personal opinion.
Absolutely. So, if you have watched episode 3, Survivor 50, you saw and heard Jeff's iconic rap, Survivor 50, in the hands of the fans, and everyone's reaction. I think everyone watching and everyone on the beach had a similar reaction. Like initially, like, what is going on? And then they kind of got into it. It was kind of a vibe.
Yeah. I feel like you can't do something like that until at least day 7 because that's when people are really getting delirious and hungry. I think if you try to do that prior, I'm not sure that everybody would have been as receptive.
Yeah, but as kind of stark and committed to like keeping the game pure and everything Jeff is, I was a little bit surprised that he has a game time personality.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Which is more egregious for a Survivor episode? Billie Eilish, Boomerang Idol, or Jeff rapping?
Don't mind the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol. The name is annoying, but the actual idol itself, I like it.
Do you think that they have, like, legally they have to say her full name every time?
Do you think they're paying her? Or do you think she's paying them?
Oh, they're paying her for sure. Why? I don't know. I have a theory on this, though, on
That she's
this whole
gonna
thing.
be on 51?
Oh, no. I definitely would not watch. I mean, I love her. She's my favorite. I have a theory, and my theory is that, they don't seem to necessarily take a lot of fan feedback very seriously, but, this was in the hands of the fans, so maybe they're like, everyone's complaining because there's not been enough excitement and enough action in New Era. We have to make sure season 50 just blows everybody's socks off, and we can't guarantee that the players themselves will do that. So let's add some garbage. And I think what we've all learned is that this season was going to write itself and they didn't need to add all that stuff in. And now it's just going to be like when I'm 85 in my nursing home, I'll just be like, Billie Eilish, Boomerang Idol. And then no one will ever believe that actually happened.
Yeah, I think I could see you being right. It's a mouthful, and it's a little bit complicated. I don't mind the idol itself, but it is what it is. But after Jeff made his rap debut, we moved straight into a tribe swap. I love a tribe swap, and I think they did it at the perfect time. So everybody was starting to get comfy cozy in their tribe, forming their initial alliances, deciding who they wanted to vote out, building a hierarchy, and then boom, an unexpected trap swap, which I love, causes chaos. And I want to get into your thoughts on the trap swap, but I don't want to forget to mention that right when they found out there was going to be a trap swap, Christian leaned over and whispered to Emily, Aubry has an idol. And he didn't give any more context and just kind of blindsided her by that. And she was absolutely shocked. What are your thoughts on the trap swap so early?
Now I have to talk about that idol drop because what we saw before that was Devins and Christian chatting. And I wonder if this will come back up later. But Christian says to Devins, I think we should tell, I think it was him who started, said, I think we should tell the rest of our alliance that we have this idol, but we should tell them that you found it, meaning Devins found it. I don't know if I really understood the why behind playing like Devins found it, I guess because he's like the idol guy or whatever. And I thought that was interesting. And then they did tell one person at least, but they didn't tell Emily. And that's another piece that I'm sort of not sure why.
Who did they tell?
Oh, I gotta look at who's there for. So it was Devins,
Christian, Emily, and
Christian, Suri, and Ozzy were also, and Suri I think is in there. Yeah, they told Suri because she was like, "What?"
that was a really great impression.
So they told Suri, and they knew each other, but they didn't tell Emily. And then going back to your point, the immediate whisper which I feel like we don't necessarily see Christian slip up much, but that was, in my brain, like a big time mess up because telling her right then, I get why he would do that. Like, "Oh, I gotta tell her this before we get mixed up because I want her to know and know that we're still strong." But that's also just like "Are you lying to me? Why are you waiting until this last second?" And he told her that the others already knew, which obviously tells her she's the last one to know. So I just feel like that's gonna be important and an interesting thing that comes up later. And we also saw in the remainder of the episode that it's sort of played a factor. So I just didn't wanna not talk about that, but Tribe Swap. I have such mixed feelings about Tribe Swap because I sometimes think it's overused, and my biggest example would be if there's a themed season where people are split by a certain thing, like David versus Goliath is my favorite example. I think they did that Tribe Swap, what, like 3 episodes in or something, and so then you have lost the plot, like, we're no longer David versus Goliath. So, normally, I'm not a fan of an early tribe swap. I think that they need to have at least down to 2 people in a tribe or something before they would consider a swap. But
You think all the
someone
way down to 2?
Huh?
You think all the way down to 2?
Yeah. But I will say, I was talking to our friend Bridget, who's a Survivor fanatic, and she made a great point today that maybe changed my mind about this. She
Okay.
said that these are all returning players, and to your point, what you just said, like, they know each other, some of them have alliances coming into this game, and they're gonna get comfortable because they feel like they've already got stuff, like, set up and ready to go. So, an early tribe swap to shake things up, I ultimately now think is a good thing.
Ah, for this specific season.
Correct.
Yeah.
But, I mean, maybe I'll consider that in future episodes or future seasons as well.
I'd like to see at least 1 or 2 more, but I mean, I don't know. I also like the fact that since these players are used to playing the game, it might be too simple if they don't shake things up.
Do you think they'll ever do 2 this season?
Yes. Or you
That would
think
be
we're gonna go straight to the merge? Surely not.
No, I would love to see 2. I think there's gonna be at least 1 more tribe swap and then go to 2. I'd love to see 2.
Yeah. And I think the fact that they're returning players when they all went back to their new tribes, it felt way more comfy because they know who these people are. They're used to mixing and mingling. They've already done the hi, how are yous a million different times in a million different scenarios. So it was like a non-issue. But there wasn't
Yes.
anybody that I was like, shoot, they're broken up. Now what? I don't know. I think it was good. I think it'll be good for a lot of people. It may be specifically good for Emily. And I'll tell you, I don't want to get the cart before the horse, but she was making I thought she was gonna go home last night at multiple different points because she was making me nervous. She was loose lips McGee, and I wanna believe that she had a thought process and a strategy for just, like, spilling her guts to everybody, but I don't know. That felt unhinged and out of character for her.
Yeah. I I always expect her to be a little bit more calculated, like, yes, she may flip or whatever, but very careful with how she's managing that, and I didn't feel like this was that way, and I think that the fact that Christian gave her that information right at the last second really freaked her out and caused her to sorta, like, lose it a little bit and act in a way that she wouldn't normally. I agree with you. There was definitely a point where I was very nervous. I do think now, though, having seen that episode and see her go through all of that and tell those people, I think that that sets her up for good things down the road. I think that there well, I guess they could have edited it just so that we could see some drama, but I really think it's gonna come back. I think it's gonna be, like, something that she uses later on to be like, "I was making relationships and sharing information and making sure that I was relevant in a lot of different groups because I was in a new place," and I think that could be good.
Okay, I have a question for you, Mary. If you have been watching or listening to our show, you know that Mary, since before the season started, believed that Emily Flippen has got a winner's edit. Did this last episode change your mind?
No. It in fact, I think, made me feel even stronger about it because they're definitely okay, ooh, I can compare this to something.
Okay.
Nick in David versus Goliath, he
Yes.
ends up winning, right? He had several Emily-like moments throughout the season where he was working with different people who were not in his original alliance. He was getting Goliaths to turn and, like, work with him. There were a lot of episodes that focused on his like, how at risk he was, I guess, and this is the same thing to me. So,
I could see it. I could see it. I was an Emily naysayer. I've been an Emily naysayer, but I
I
I could see what you're saying. Good stuff. well, we went down the Emily rabbit hole. They went pretty quick from the tribe swap. They did a little bit of mingling at camp, and then we went straight into a challenge. I love a blindfold challenge. I love a blindfold challenge. I think that that is so fun, and I like the fact that they had just shaken everybody up, and these people were relatively new and hadn't played a game together and didn't know each other's personalities as well, and then they threw them in and made them play a blindfold challenge.
I have, like, the exact opposite feeling on a
Okay.
blindfold challenge, only because I think it takes away from some of the, like, the fast-paced nature of it because people are moving slowly, there's a lot of, like, running into each other and having to do things over and over again because they're not right, and my ADHD brain does not enjoy that, so but I do enjoy the fact that if they're blindfolded, they could, like, get have something drop on their toe or, like, run into something or whatever, I think that adds an element. And it's always fun to see how people manage it. One of the tribes made, like, a human chain, like, they were holding on to each other to stay together. Not everybody was doing that, and that felt like it was working for them. Just stuff like that, it's interesting to see. I was shocked, beyond shocked that they had Suri as part of the challenge instead of a caller. I felt
Yeah.
like she was be a caller.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I was shocked by that too. The one tribe, and you're gonna have to forgive me because I don't remember what tribe it was, but one tribe, there were 2 ladies that were calling, and then they had Christian call. I thought that was so smart. That way it was easy to determine whose voice it was
I
because
sorry, go ahead.
well, because he was the only man. I thought that
Yeah,
was really, really smart.
that is a good point, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking, I'm obviously an expert on all these challenges. If I was on Survivor, I was thinking, like, I would be like, "Vatu, left, Vatu, under," so that they know which voice to listen to, and, I mean, maybe they just know whatever, but I feel like in that situation, you have multiple people yelling, it could get confusing.
Okay. Great tip. So if anybody is listening and planning on applying for Survivor, just go ahead and add that to your application. You got a pro tip for the blindfold challenges. I think that's so smart.
But I do think that this of all the blindfold challenges I've seen, this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
felt like it was fun and had a lot going on with it. And I mean, we know they won chickens. What do you think about the chickens?
I kinda like the chickens. I like when the chickens are chaotic and have their own personality. I also like that chickens historically have caused friction. People wanna eat the chickens, people don't wanna eat the chickens, people wanna kill the chickens, people don't wanna kill the chickens, people wanna catch the chickens, people don't wanna catch the chickens. Um, in 49, they gave them chickens, and I don't remember the chickens making eggs. Do you?
No,
Would
I
they
don't
just give them meat chickens?
I don't know.
But
I feel like in 49, we never really got resolution with the
no.
chickens, did
It may have been
like,
the same chicken. They may have recycled the chicken. It may be Savannah's pet chicken, and that was why she was invited back for 50.
and that's why we've never seen the goats again because they ate them.
Yeah, right? Who knows?
Yes.
But yeah, I I feel indifferent about the chickens. I like it when they cause friction.
I feel like, especially this era of Survivor where it's a shorter time period, a reward like that where it's something that you could see as providing substance or sustenance for an extended period is less important. Like,
Yeah,
people just care, so it feels like a lame reward in my mind. This is now the new, like, 1 single beer
yeah,
from season.
like more of a, burden than a
Mhm.
yeah, I can see what you're saying. Um,
Although sorry.
I don't I don't wanna
I
interrupt.
was just gonna say, I guess there's a buildup maybe for the drama if at this point they're not that hungry, they're not that desperate, and they keep the chickens around, and then at some point down the road, somebody gets, like, crazy hungry and starts saying, like, "Let's kill the chickens."
I think you should kill them in the beginning because then you don't love them. But then when you fall in love with them,
Chicken life.
yeah, just kill them. I think that would be my strategy. I would be like, "Let's just get it out of the way. We just met. Emotions are low. Just let's just get them."
You're not emotionally
Would
attached to
you
these.
eat the chicken if you were on Survivor?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I mean, I guess if it was laying eggs, I might be like, "Well, let's see how this plays out," but it depends on several things, I guess, like, do we have fire? Do we have
Yeah,
the appropriate things to actually cook the eggs? Otherwise, I'd be like, "Well, I guess if we didn't have fire, I wouldn't wanna kill it yet," but
yeah. Yeah, I agree. It can
I'd be a fan
if
of
all things considered, I would totally eat the chicken. And this is coming from somebody who goes
should
on
put that on
the
a
meat
T-shirt.
relationship. Yeah, I think I would eat the chicken. Mary and I both thought we were watching last night, and we both thought that the challenge was a reward challenge, and people had to explain to us that it was reward and immunity challenge. So I
Mhm.
didn't realize that when we were actually
Yeah.
watching the challenge, or I think I would have been way more invested in the actual process. Mary, we forgot to tell them where we watched it and who we watched it with. What were we thinking?
You guys! Okay, so if you have followed us at all, you know we often live stream episodes on TikTok and then usually record right after. Well, we did not do that last night because we were watching with, no big deal, Richard Hatch and Johnny Fairplay at the Folding Warehouse in Indianapolis, and a bunch of our now close Survivor fan friends.
Yep. So if you were at the Folding Warehouse watching with Richard Hatch and Johnny Fairplay with us, comment and let us know who
Yeah.
you are and that we met you, which was so fun. And I should have brought it. We got autographed papers, got pictures with Richard Hatch and Johnny Fairplay. And the best part about it, my highlight of my night last night when we were watching Survivor with these Survivor legends is Richard Hatch said, I watch Survivor like I watch football. So I like when people watch football, they cheer and they coach from the sidelines and all these things. Well, it was true because the episode went on and everybody was like intently, quietly watching the episode. And then Richard Hatch would be like, what are you doing? Or, yeah, good job. Just like he was watching a football game. And that was inspiring to me. And now I want to do it.
Agreed. It was so much fun. And I just have to say, possibly a lot of people have mixed thoughts on both of those people, but we talked to Richard for quite a bit. He was so nice and personable and approachable, and he really enjoyed, you could tell, like talking to people, and he wanted any questions people had. He was telling all kinds of stories about production and pre-production and his life since Survivor, like in regard to other Survivor players. Like he talked about his friendship with Rudy. But yeah, it was just really nice. And to Becca's point, something would happen on screen, and when there was a commercial break or something, I mean, he would react in the moment for sure. And then during commercial breaks, they sort of alternated like which one of them was gonna be in control of the microphone. But when it was him, he would provide an anecdote that might tie back to something that just happened, or just give his thoughts on, like, I think he specifically talked about Chrissy announcing the cancer, and he kinda gave tips as though we were all, like, just waiting for our Survivor audition to, like, how would you manage that in the situation? How would you process the information? What would that be your strategy to, like, share your story like that? And just things, I mean, it was really interesting.
Yeah, it was
Sorry, that's
super interesting. And he talked about how he played and why he played and what when it's a good time from his perspective to bring in emotions and when it's a better time to be reserved. It was really, really good. And
mhm.
Johnny Fairplay was exactly as you would expect him to be in person. Just kind of a wild card, off the handle, rough around the edges. Fun, super nice, super friendly, all the things. Again, excited to provide commentary on anything and everything Survivor related. But he was like, it's hilarious. He was he reminded me of like a crazy uncle that would come at Thanksgiving and everybody would be like, "Don't mind him. We don't know what he's gonna say."
Felt like I was at something between a stand-up show and a UFC event when he
Yeah.
was the one in charge of the microphone. And I mean, it was entertaining, and he was doing, like, interesting trivia and, like, giving out these little card, like, it was printed photos. Some of them I think had been signed by players that he was giving out. So it was just kind of a fun thing.
Yeah, it was super fun. And it was Johnny Fairplay's birthday. So Johnny Fairplay, I doubt you're watching this, but if you are, hello from the benches spoken. We're gonna have you on sometime. You did agree to come on. So, gonna hold you to it and happy birthday. Because
Alright.
well, after the challenge, the 2 winner tribes, or I guess the winner and the runner-up, both got chickens. Also, I don't like that. If you're gonna give a reward, give a reward. And then if you're gonna give the second place a little something, give them a little something. Don't give them the same thing.
Guess I gave them, like, a dozen eggs or something, or, like
Oh,
a single bucket of fried chicken.
or Peeps, like the
Yeah,
Easter
that was
chicks.
nice. Missed opportunity. We should give that feedback to Survivor Indiana in case, they need
Yeah.
ideas for boards.
Yeah, chicken Peeps.
Yeah. I don't think it was super clear that it was immunity, and I was like, "Whoa." It felt like it was really sudden in or quick into the episode that we saw the immunity challenge, and I guess we know why, because there was all kinds of drama and discussions and debate about who's gonna go home afterwards, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
So then went back to camp, and we've already talked about Emily and our thoughts and about her and what she did and how she did it, but, they went back to camp and she just opened like a fountain. She was just telling everybody everything. She did say out loud to at least one person, she said, "I don't trust Christian now." So the fact that she was open about like her trust being shaken when they're so solid in the alliance, he was so solid in the alliance, he was willing to take a risky move and just blurt out uh, that Aubrey's got an idol. That was interesting to me that Christian's still so rock solid steady on her, and she is, like, immediately like, I don't know. It seems like she's fishing for her people now, and she's using this information as bait.
Yeah, and that does worry me a little bit about for her because it could go sideways really quickly, and I will never, for the rest of my life, remember his name, but this is the 3rd week in a row I've brought him up, the guy from 49 who got voted out because he was playing both sides. Like,
Oh,
there's always fear that that could happen, but I think she's doing it in a smarter way, and maybe it'll work out because I think there's gonna be a big push to get Christian out as soon as they merge, if he's still there, and so she can be already on the side of the people that wanna get him out because she's, like, formed these relationships in advance, but we'll see.
yeah.
I think we had so much discussion at camp life, and in my brain, it all happened pre-challenge, but a lot of it happened I mean, post-challenge, but a lot of it happened pre-challenge. So just some interesting things that, to me anyway, that I thought would be fun to talk through. Number 1, the Genevieve Aubry dynamic, where on their tribe, initially, Chrissy told Genevieve and Aubry that she was really upset because coach had just told her she needed to calm down, and the 3 of them bond over the fact that on all of their seasons, they were seen as a person that nobody liked, and there were like, problems with their personality, and you think, "Oh, maybe is this a new alliance forming?" But instead, Genevieve, like, goes around telling everybody how much she doesn't trust Aubry and how scary and bad Aubry is, and we get, like, this fun montage of her, like, just talking to everybody. It was really good. I thought, like, movie edit. And then Tiffany tells Aubry, I just feel like that's gonna be a big mistake that comes back to bite Tiffany. That felt like a rookie mistake to me that I wouldn't have seen her making.
I totally agree. Well, and I believe we're still at the point in the game where the best place to be is flying right in the middle of the pack. Until you get
Yes.
to the merge, you don't want to be anybody's favorite. Number one, anything, you don't want to be anybody's least favorite. Nobody likes you. Flying in the middle. So if everybody else is saying, oh, Aubrey's an easy vote, Aubrey's an easy vote, and then you, Tiffany, go and say, no, 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 we're not going to get them out. We're going to figure out something else. That puts a target on your back because you're going against the group think. Aubrey, I don't know. I don't remember her much from her season. Honestly, not sure why she's on 50. That may be controversial. If you love Aubrey, please tell me why.
Yeah.
Because I don't get it. And she's not really done much in 50. So I wouldn't hate to see her leave. But I don't know what Genevieve's, it seems like since the very beginning, Genevieve's had a big, big target on Aubrey's back. And what's interesting to me is last episode, Genevieve formed this whole plan for them to go through Aubrey's backpack. They went through Aubrey's backpack, nothing in it. And then she got the Billie Eilish Boomerang idol from Christian. And so now she does have an idol. But the fact that everybody went through the bag, there was no idol, and nobody was like, Genevieve is sus because Genevieve's targeting people she has no reason to be. But
Agreed.
now maybe it's because she does have an idol now. I don't know. But it just felt, I don't understand why everybody's so team Genevieve and so not Team Aubry other than the fact that she's boring.
Yeah. I guess the only thing I could say is I did not like Genevieve at all in her first season. She really bothered me. I felt like I think she came off as like she thought she was better than she actually was at playing Survivor and had a lot of like close but no cigar type of moments.
You know who she reminds me of? Sage.
I
I think
could
they
see that.
either love each other or eat each other alive, and I don't know which one it would
Yeah.
be.
I think I like her better this time than I did before, but agree with everything you said. Like she needs to chill out or that's going to come back to bite her.
Yeah. But people
But
seem
we
to
also
be going along with her.
yeah.
I also agree that the cast in this season has really the makings of a potential really strong girl alliance, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going
I
to.
feel like every time there's a season where there are a lot of girls who are strong and you think that's gonna happen and it doesn't, I'm like, "What the hell?" Like,
We
are
have
we
the
just
potential.
you know how good this could be if you do it, so why not do it?
Yeah. Chrissy, I was surprised by her reaction when in the beginning when she got emotional when coach told her to kind of tone it down because I feel like from her original season she would have been like, "What do you mean I tone it down? You tone it down, asshole." But like she was like immediately like,
Man, those hormones, they'll get you.
maybe that's what it was. But I don't know. I thought, "Girl, no, you tell him to shut up." Cuz he's talking too much. Who is he to tell somebody they're talking too much when he
Agreed.
honor and integrity or whatever?
God, we should have had a drinking game for the number of times people said those words last
Yeah.
night.
Well,
Yeah.
now coach is in love with Joe because Joe's playing with integrity too, allegedly. Can I
If
say something about Joe real quick? Everybody's saying Rizzo's lazy. Rizzo's not doing anything. Rizzo's lazy. Joe is in that damn hammock way more than anybody else. And not just episode 2, episode 3. He was in the
mhm.
hammock bunch too. And I'm not saying Joe's lazy because I don't know Joe, but he is in the hammock an awful lot.
Was Savannah right? It's yeah, that's funny to me.
I don't like Joe.
I'm not looking forward to a potential massive amount of screen time for a Joe Colby coach alliance because
No.
I feel like you will give David, Joe, and Shaheen vibes, and I don't really want that. Not this season.
Yeah, I don't think Joe's got any business being there. And I hate to say this, but I think his storyline was so, so strong that other people were like, "Oh, I feel bad voting him out in his season." So this one, I'm like, "Okay."
I almost feel like he's gonna be someone who might fly under the radar a little bit just because people are like, somebody will vote him out down the road because either he'll annoy them or they'll know that he has a good story, and so they won't wanna, like, go against him in the finals, so
Yeah, yeah,
another bit of drama that we saw was Rizzo and Charlie.
yeah.
This I thought was unexpected. I love Charlie, and every time somebody asks me who I think is gonna win, I always forget about him, but I would put him up there in, like, my top 3. I think I did when we did that before the season started. He's just not been getting much screen time, which is fair given his Tribe performance and stuff, but, I thought it was super interesting that Rizzo riled him up so much and didn't even well, I'm not shocked that Rizzo didn't realize that that's what he was doing and that Rizzo thought he was doing the right thing by, like, just forming a bond with him. But man, he got, like, evil, crazy eyes about it. That
He
was
has a
fun.
vendetta against Rizzo now, but Rizzo's not even telling the truth. Why do they feel like they have to lie?
Oh, you know what? Where was it? It might have been Bridget. We need to give Bridget all the credit. I was talking to her about this too, and she said that she she thinks that Rizzo thought that he was correct to downplay his relationship with Savannah because he didn't know that she had been voted out at that point. So if he were like,
How would
Savannah
he
was
have
my
not
number
known?
1.
They already went to a challenge.
I think all this happened before that, before the challenge. Because there was a lot of camp talk before and after the challenge, but I think this happened before. I might be wrong, but I don't know. But I thought that was a good point that maybe if that timeline is correct, that he didn't wanna necessarily say, Savannah was my number 1, and I voted for her because if she was still there, then Charlie would know that he had to be suspicious of Rizzo and Savannah the rest of the time, and by saying that Sophie was his number 1 and he voted for somebody else, maybe he thought that, "Well, Sophie's not here, so she can't cause trouble for me," right? I
Yeah.
don't know, but
Do you think if all the Savannah fans are now pulling for Rizzo?
I don't know. I feel like that'd be just totally different group of people, but maybe. I mean, they did work together, so I could see it. I would in my brain, if you're a Savannah fan, you're more likely to vote for or be a fan of like Dee or Suri or
Dee's not had much screen time.
mm
She's just been silly, goofy. Like she'll get on and say a couple one liners, but like nothing like gameplay.
Yeah. I think this week was the first time she really had that, and she's talking about Suri and how her friend said, "If you're ever on a tribe with her, you need to get her out," and it sounded like she might in the future because she's not her tribe didn't go to a tribal, that she might try to get Suri out first, which smart, smart, smart. That's what I wanna see.
Well, just like last season when everybody would say, "Oh, we need to vote Rizzo out," and then they never would. And but Sari, I'm telling you, anytime somebody says her name, she's just like, "Okay." I think her superpower. I've thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and I think her superpower is she doesn't overreact. She
Mhm.
just gathers information, and then decides when she wants to spill the beans. She doesn't. She's never in a hurry. She's never scurrying. She just processes
Like,
things.
level-headed ideas that she presents to people in a way. You know what she reminds me of?
Dude.
You know who Rasputin is?
Yeah.
it's like that, like a charmer, and obviously not in a gross, weird way like Rasputin, but I just mean, like, she obviously has her personality just must be so on point. Like, she can just convince anybody of anything, even if it doesn't make any sense.
She should be in
So,
sales.
she probably does that thing like on the Jungle Book cartoon where the snake's eyes would
No,
go in a
get too
spiral and they would, like,
nice. Have you
hypnotize you.
noticed that during this season so far, we've seen a lot of nod to snakes?
Oh,
Like in between when there's just like little clips in the jungle, it's like almost always a snake.
do you think that's somebody having a little joke about the sea crate?
I don't know. I don't know if there's like a hidden theme of some sort, but there's been, and even the challenge, there were snakes. I feel like it's very snake heavy.
Sneaky snake. I
Rizzo.
wonder if Rizzo or Savannah has told anybody about the sea crate latch on. That could be something you could say if you're trying to psych someone out later. Just be like,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah,
about,"
right before a water challenge and be like, there's a secret.
and then they would be like, "Well, we know for real that it's not that big of a deal."
Yeah. Jake wanted to be home with his baby.
So after the challenge and after a lot of that game talk, we go back to Vatu, and freaking Mike White decides he's just gonna come in like a bull and destroy my life by starting an effort to get rid of Q. I don't really even understand why, except for Mike is obviously really smart, and maybe he felt like Rizzo's game is a little, or his chaos was muted a little bit this season, so he was playing more of just like a normal, strong social game with some strategy. Maybe Mike could see that. But how do you feel about the three David versus Goliath players ending up on the same tribe and
I don't
nobody seeming to care?
I think the tribe swap was random, and that feels random to me. Like, I don't think it would bother me if
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
was, like, super evenly dispersed. Like, as random, there's the potential of past season players being together, or girls being together, or guys being together, or strong people or weak people or whatever. So I don't mind it. Mike White, I feel like he made the biggest impact with the smallest amount of effort. He went to the beach with
Right.
Q, and Q was like, "Yeah, vote me out." And he's like, "Okay." Like, it was like, I don't know. He was doing what he was told, kind of. Do you wanna let's tell the fans, what we learned about Mike White last night. They said, the past Survivor
Oh,
players, and I don't
right.
know what's true and what's not true, but they told us that Mike White originally wasn't gonna be picked for Survivor 50, but he had texted Jeff Probst 80 times, 80 separate
Yeah.
asking to be on it. So he was adamant that he was gonna be on Survivor 50. And I'm a little bit hesitant. I like him. I think he's fun. I think he adds personality, all the things. But I'm on the fence if I think he came to play or if he came for an experience.
Yeah, I agree. And even sort of what he was saying at Tribal kinda led me to feel like it's this sounds really stupid to say because it is a game, but he's it almost feels like he's playing a board game with all the Survivor players, and he's just, like, having a good time, or like playing Barbies, but with the Survivor
Yes.
players, and that he's not actually in it. It doesn't affect his life. It's
Like he's a
not
director, like he is
important.
in real life.
Yeah, so he's like, "How can I have the most fun and play the best with all of this," but it's not taking it seriously as a game, it's just, like, having fun. It's almost the biggest exaggeration of people who come to Survivor as, like, super fans with a bucket list, which nobody likes. It's almost like that, but, like, to a way different extent and a slightly different degree, like, I don't know, and I like him and I like his work. But I just feel like it takes away a little bit from the game and from the players who really are there to play and strategize. And this is a serious, important game for them versus someone who's just a fan.
Survivor purists, I guess,
Yeah.
um, which is
But
interesting.
now I'm just going to hate him forever because he took my cue away.
Yeah. Well, something that's interesting, if we're gonna go ahead and start talking about Q did, unfortunately, get let go. I sound like I'm from HR.
His team which says
I had to
presence on.
part ways. I have some interesting things and thoughts about everybody who's left so far. 2 statements. 1, the only old era player that has left so far is Jenna. So 4 people have left, 3 new era and 1 old era. I just think that's something that we should be mindful of and thoughtful of. 2, my thought is every vote has been unanimous except for the person getting voted out. And that's interesting to me. The first couple, sure, but the third, I thought that there was going to be some disagreement, but every vote has been unanimous that we've seen, except for the person getting voted out. They voted for somebody else. Is
Interesting.
it interesting that they're group thinking, or am I overthinking it?
No, I'm just trying to decide how I feel about it because I do think, particularly early on in the season, I feel like there's, we have 3 tribes, right? So there'd be like 3, if all 3 tribes went to tribal, all 3 would have one person who was sort of dispensable, where they'd be like, "This is easy vote, let's get this person out. We don't wanna make waves, this is our first time, whatever. We're not we're not, like, super playing the game yet, we're just getting warmed up." I think Stephanie voted for that's what I was trying to think about. I think she voted for Angelina, because Q didn't have a vote and there was an Angelina vote. But other than that, yes, and I think she was also on the chopping block, and she was not in that alliance, so it made sense that she would be the outlier vote, but it is interesting that they either were unanimous or almost unanimous, I think. I think it just in my brain, I'm just assuming it's
You know
because
what?
they're doing easy vote first.
That's such a security blanket because nobody knows Q didn't have a vote.
Mhm.
So Angelina voting for somebody else, they think she went with the group. They're just assuming, I'm sure.
Yeah, that is good. I'm interested to see how it plays out next week. I assume this tribe will go to tribal again, and then maybe week 5, we have another tribe swap. So if they do, I would really, really hope that Ozzy, Emily, and Steph can figure out a way to get either Mike or Angelina out instead of just being like, "Well, we'll just let these 3 people who have a history together go ahead and,
Play together
yeah,
and beat
vote
us
us out."
all.
I don't know, it'll be interesting.
I wish Jeff would have ended the episode with another rap.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Wrap it up.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, the preview for episode 4 did show Zach Brown.
I'm so intrigued. I wanna know how that's gonna play out.
It feels like the most random group of musical celebrities. Will be interested, but I am glad that Zach Brown's easier to say than Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol.
And if he's there, maybe that means it's like a one and done, so we won't have to hear the Zac Brown banjo.
You know what they should have done is when Christian pooped his pants, you should have called that the Zach Brown. We gotta code Zach Brown.
That'd be cool. I'm gonna call it that anyway in my brain.
It's a really bad one if it has a first and last name.
Were you surprised that there was no mention of and that no one found the 3rd Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol this
Nope,
episode?
nope. I think they're so shook up that nobody realizes that there's another one missing. Because I think the
But
people that know about it, they only know about one. Nobody knows about 2.
that's true, but I guess I
Maybe they thought there
would
was only
assume if there are 3 tribes, there'd be 3 of these idols, but you're right, maybe they just aren't thinking about that, and maybe there aren't 3, maybe it was just 2.
Can I tell you something that's bothering me?
Mhm.
Is, okay, the first night, Ozzy and Q went to Exile Island for no purpose, and then they're just never gonna do it again and never talk about it again.
Say that again?
Night 1, Ozzy and Q spent the night on Exile Island. Yeah, but nobody
Oh, okay, I see. Sorry, I was
nothing there was no reason. Nothing happened, and they're never gonna do it again.
that was real weird and dumb.
Yeah, I feel like they're just trying to hit all the Survivor, like, must-dos.
There'll be a redemption island. Do you think that they will have another exile with the merge?
Don't
'Cause they've
know.
done that before where, like, when they merge, if it's an uneven or I guess maybe not a merge, but like if they go to 2 tribes and there's an uneven
Oh.
number, they'll send somebody to mix.
Do you think the next Trap Swap will be 2 tribes? I would like that.
I love a 2 tribe.
We've not seen that in a while, have we?
I can't remember the last time.
I'd like that a lot.
Yeah.
Just
Maybe
call
it'll
Jeff
be like maybe Jimmy Fallon will be a captain, and he'll pick a tribe, and then Zac Brown will pick a tribe. And when are we prepared to see more than one person go home?
I don't know, it's gotta be more people are gonna get hurt. But what's interesting to me, if you would have said, Becca, here are the players that are in Survivor 50. Tell me who is gonna go home. Pick 3 that you think are gonna go home because they get hurt. Kyle would not have been one of them.
Mm, mm-mm. Well,
It would have been some of the old fogies. Coach may go home. He's gonna drown himself with a leg cramp.
Colby might have a concussion. We forgot about that. He
Oh,
was heading
yeah.
forward. I'm surprised it didn't play that up more or make him stop and get checked out.
Right? No, he just wobbled and weebled. But when you're 100 years old and then you get a head bonk, that'll happen to you. Poor Colby. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Next week, we have to look forward to Zach Brown. Somebody may be finding the idol at Tribal, and Batu going to Tribal Council yet again.
Yep. Disaster tribe.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for watching. Check back next week.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram and X, and we live stream often before or during episodes on TikTok. So